Well, since Lyon shut us out 2-0, the squad has been on an absolute tear. They have been undefeated the last 7 games we played, which is a good thing, because with all the transfer moves I've made, they seem on the verge of rebellion. My name's FM19, and this is the Ritornu Gloria with SC Bastia, episode 83. I'm putting myself in the center here just so you guys can see everything. You know what the sad thing is? PSG spent $349 million on players this year, and they still made a profit on the players they sold. Benrahma went to Chelsea for $147 million. Juan Pablo Soler went to Man City for $140 million. You know what, let me sort this by fees here. Mele went to Juventus for $27.5. We got Milescu for $27.5. Vargas went to Everton. Now they sold 365 million euros worth of players. But then they also brought in Paulo Cesar for $47.5 million, Alessio Raff for $57 million, Damir Hujilic for $71 million, Rodrigo for $114 million from Madrid. Hujilic is a regen. He's one of the best defensive right backs in the game. Raff, I think, is a regen. He's an attacking midfielder on the right. He's an inside forward. He's one of the best young guys in the game. Paulo Cesar is a defensive midfielder. Again, one of the best young players in the game. They've just got this bottomless well of oil money. So if we're going to be able to compete with them, we've got to out-scout them somehow or get better performances out of our players. We broke a spending record this year. We spent $92 million. And we sold $91 million as well. So I'm going to, where am I going to move this to? I'm going to move myself over here. We're going to do the ins first. I bit the bullet. Hands up. I was wrong. Carlo Vinicius is not a Premier League goalie at this point in time. Ivan Orlov, on the other hand, is. Wow. This kid, he is phenomenal. 3.5-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. It comes to us from Bayer. He was on their B squad. They only wanted 10 million euros for him. I was looking at who was available, and he popped up, and I saw his attributes. He is a better keeper now than Jarek is. So this is Jarek, and he's a lot better in a lot more areas. Jarek's a little bit better at shot stopping. He's a little more physical. He's a little faster, but he's also 7 years older. If I was to compare him to Vinicius, it's night and day. I mean, physically they're the same. Speed-wise they're the same. But this is what I would expect Vinicius to grow into. The fact that Orlov is there now and he was 10 million euros, I couldn't pay that fast enough. Next in, Nicolas Caza from Espanyol. Needed some depth at defensive center back and defensive left back. He'll be playing mostly on the left for reasons you'll see why in a minute. 3-star current ability, 3-star potential ability, 29 years old, comes in on a rotation contract, is happy to be here on a rotation contract. We'll definitely be seeing some appearances at both positions. Then last but not least is the eagle-eye, amongst you will already have noticed, Ryan Sessegnon from Arsenal. Comes in for 20 million euros, going to 23.5 million euros based on international appearances, some goals. He is playing defensive left back because both Almeida and Magalhaes left. And oh God, it was just flippin' insane. I like that he can come up and play advanced midfielder on the left, but he is here as a defensive left back. And I may have overpaid for him, but I couldn't have Caza out there with no one else as a backup. So Sessegnon comes in as the starter. Caza's his primary backup. I got a couple of youth players. I would be okay starting a game. But yeah, I paid to get him. I got so many players moving out, I have to scroll down. So, first out in the January transfer window, Chardonnay Kasanga went on loan to Shadow Row. Rafael Almeida went to Arsenal for $30 million, going to $42 million based on appearance fees and international appearances. Arsenal made an offer for him. He really wanted to go, and I've got really good money for him. his value when he was with us was not the $49.5 million we have now. And at the time, I was happy letting him go because I had Maga Hollis. And I could flex Maga Hollis back out to the defensive left back position, even though I was training him as a defensive center back. Cristiano Ronaldo was upset he wasn't getting a ton of playing time, and on a whim, I put him out there for loan, and Napoli snapped him up. They're paying us €225,000 a month, in addition to paying 100% of his salary if he starts or doesn't start. And seeing as how he's making €19,500 a week, that's a very good deal for us. I don't believe they have a future clause on him. As a matter of fact, I'm almost positive they don't. I'm not seeing it. So, if he comes back, I'll be happy with that. If he moves on, I'll be okay with that too. He was pitching a fit because he wasn't getting all the first team playing time. I was rotating him out. It's like, you're upset you're only starting 6 of every 10 games. That makes no sense, dude. Vinicius, I loaned back out to NAU, who are a Brazilian club. I don't know who they are. I don't have their real name fixed on, and my knowledge of Brazilian football is a lot less than my knowledge of European football, and my European football knowledge at best is a couple PowerPoint slides deep, so I apologize. But he is back on loan. If he does come back, it won't be as the first teamer, especially with Orlov on board now. Islamir Gajikadiev went to Al Shahab. They made an unsolicited offer for him, and he was couldn't get out of here fast enough. I don't know why, because he was getting a decent amount of starts, and he was turning into a decent player for us. He was going to be 3.5 star, current 3.5 star potential. He had 17 starts last season. He was well on his way to getting 25, 28 starts this season. That's after he got 22 a couple seasons ago. He was solid in the defensive midfield for us, but we got him on a free. He left for €10 million. That now kind of makes me feel a little bit better. What also makes me feel a little bit better is we got a couple of players back from loan. Ayrton being the primary one. He is taking over. He's 2-star current ability, 5-star potential ability. He's taking over as the anchorman on the defensive midfield. He's got a ton of potential. He's got more potential than Gajikadiev. But I was planning, and as all plans go, Custer had a plan. My plans are written in Jello on a hot Texas day. Gajikadiev was going to start most of the games next year with Soldavia leaving, and Ayrton was going to be his primary backup. Simon Dago went to Nimes on a free. He is a youth player who's just never going to see any starting time here. He, 1.5 star current ability, maybe 3.5 star potential ability, but I don't think he's going to fulfill that. And then, this is the one that really hurt. David Maga Hollis. Man United made an offer for him, and they lowballed me, like €15 million they wanted to pay me for him. I was like, dude, no. And he came back and was like, why didn't you let me talk to Man United? And I said, well, first of all, the team came to me and said, why don't you want to let David Maga Hollis go to United? And I said, essentially, there was an option that said, he's the best player we have at his position. Do you really want me to weaken the team by letting him go? Considering that at the time we were in second place. Granted, we're 12 points behind PSG second place, but we're second place in League One. And the portion of the squad that came to me was like, you make a really good point, Gaffer. We'll leave you alone. And then Man United came in with their second offer. It was like $18 million, and I said no. And it was a non-negotiable offer, which made no sense to me whatsoever. And the rest of the squad just pitched a fit. I turned around, and I made an offer for $23 million, and United snapped it up. His value is $24 million, so I got close to value. I'm really upset I had to let him go. I was expecting him to be my full-time starter on defensive left back. Brought him in for $9 million. Sold him for 23, so I made a little bit of money there. I was just hoping to have him for more than 2 seasons, But the happy coincidence of that sale was we sold as much as we spent, so we broke even on the transfer window this year. Schedule-wise, since the Lyon game, we have been on an absolute tear. We thumped St. Etienne 3-0 the first time we met them. Geraldus a brace of goals. Correa goal in the 67th minute. Angers held us to a draw. This was one of those games where we absolutely had our chances, and for whatever reason, we just could not break through their defense. And their squad as a whole did not have the best game. Zhang Chen got the player of the match based on his defensive work alone. We had 18 shots, 8 on target. They're 4-2. One woodwork hit, which by all rights probably should have gone in. What killed us was 11 of our shots were long shots. It was absolutely, I mean, I did everything I could at the halftime to take those off. And even then, they kept shooting from distance. We played St. Etienne again in the Kudu League semifinal. We beat them 3-1 thanks to a header by Zhang Cheng off a set piece. Guzman Fernandez, a brace of goals. We're in the finals. We're playing PSG in the finals. And then we were away at Lille, and we beat them 2-1 thanks to a goal by Thierry Correa and a goal by Miliescu. We were then home against Dijon in the French Cup 10th round. We won that game. We had to come back to win. Vlasic a goal, Correa a goal, Frank a goal in a rare relief start for the attacking midfielder / striker. They were 2-1 up at the 61st minute. Correa equalized in the 63rd minute, and then Frank slammed the winner through in the 85th minute. Well, we beat them on yellow cards. Go us. We had 12 shots, 6 on target. They're 6-3. We shouldn't have had to come back to win this game. They made us earn it, and we earned it. And then we were away at Bordeaux, and we won 4-2 thanks to a first-minute goal by Heraldes. It was something to see. Blaine Malongo had a 24th-minute goal, Miliescu a 63rd-minute goal, and Ryan Sessegnon got his first goal for Bastia in the 73rd minute. Today, though, it is all about the Euro Cup first knockout round. We're going to play Basel away and then home. We're not going to play Nantes online. Episode will probably be a little bit long, assuming nothing happens from a technical point of view. And, we'll make the best of it. So I'm going to set the best 11. We're going to check the reserves, and we're going to come back for our match at Basel in just a bit. Well, we are at Basel, and we are playing our 4-1-2-3 today. Orlov in goal, Sessegnon, Kazat, Hrustic, and Flores as the defensive back four, Vlasic as the defensive midfielder behind Osmani. And Miliescu, I gotta figure out how to breathe when I'm pronouncing all these names. Correa as the attacking midfielder on the left, Macon on the right, Fernandez up top as the striker. Basel does have a couple names I recognize. Albion Ajeti is a very good striker. I had him on my Palace save, and he had a couple very nice seasons for us. Kronig is also a very good defensive center back. It's not going to be an easy game to win, but I think we should win. And having said that out loud now, watch us get thumped. Kronig on the throw-in to Stabile, back to Kronig, back to Stabile. Correa intercepts, taps it up to Fernandez. Breaks through the defenders. He's got help. Instead, he taps it past the Basel keeper for a goal in the 7th minute. That's only his 7th goal of the season. Wow. That can't be right. I wonder if they mean 7th goal in European competition. I thought he was going to pass it to Correa. I'm not upset, but it was a weak effort by the Basel keeper. His knees went one way and his body went the other. Holy cow. Marchand sends it up to Ajeti. Sends it back to Kronig. Out to Riveros on the left. He holds it up. He's dispossessed. Macon to Osmani. Sends it up towards Fernandez. Goes over the Basel keeper. Reiner has it for Basel now. Or didn't go over the Basel keeper, it went over the Basel defender. Nikolic sends it up towards Ajeti. Knocked down. Miliescu has it. Macon crosses it in. Stabile knocks it down. Osmani runs down the loose ball. Taps it over to Correa. Cuts across the field. Sends it out to Flores, who sends it in. Correa is there and he absolutely buries it. That was a nice cross by Flores. Oh, nice header by Correa. He's not really a heading machine, as it were, but that was well done. Osmani to Miliescu, top the box, tries taking a shot, bounces it off a Basel player. Vlasic gets it to Flores. He sends it in. Off the post, Nikolic picks it up. Who took that shot? The number 50 player. I think it's Macon, I believe. Miliescu's down to 72%. We'll probably take him off at the half, depending on who I can bring on. Correa's going to take Miliescu's spot as the attacking playmaker in the midfield. Frank is going to come on as the winger. Well, 50's Macon. I should know that. Frank Orozmani, who totally misplays the ball, sends it to a Basel player, and that is the highlight. This is that time of year where the matches, there's just not a lot of downtime between them. Oh, Hrustic and the Basel keeper pushes it over the crossbar. So the Nantes game's in 3 days. It's going to be a pretty rotated side. Torres sends it in. Veresnovic. I can't tell if that went over the crossbar or it had help from Orlov, but Basel's really come alive the second half. Is that a foul? Oh, I got music for this. Can he not take the straightest path to the VAR device? I love how the 98 came over to stand behind him. Donald Correa should be taking this. Oh, Frank is. Okay. Well done, Frank. Nice. Well, Basel's come alive the second half. They were very few shots. The first half, they're up to 7-3. We're 13-6. 71 minutes in. We've got a 3-0 lead. We're going to bring Macon off and bring on Roland, get him a little bit of playing time. And then just so I can say it, Hrustic, he's the only reason he's on the bench. Philip Morel, who is a youth player who, frankly, he'll never see League One playing time. He's 1-star current ability, 3-star potential ability. He's maybe a national player at best. Is going to come on and take Hrustic's spot. As long as this doesn't backfire on me. Fernandez just picked up a knock. He's down to 59%. Frank just got injured. Potential knee injury. Bring Roland to the center. Swap him out with Correa. Oh, I should probably come off the attack. We'll go to cautious. There's only 20 minutes left. If Basel comes back in the next 5 minutes, Flores, not going to happen. Well done off the corner kick. Boy, that kid. Nice crossing by Correa. Into space. Flores off the volley. Well done. Fernandez picked up a knock. He was down to 59% at one point. I can't pronounce that last name. Pinocchietti sends it into Kronig, who taps it over to a Basel player, Erninger, and he scores. Header down, Erninger's there. Orlov, close, but close only counts in horseshoes, hand grenades, hydrogen bombs, and some spray on deodorants. Ajeti over Veranovic, out into space, goes out of bounds. The ref should be blowing the whistle, and he does. 18 shots, 9 on target. Possession advantage was negligible to them. They got an FM goal to break up the clean sheet. Well done, boys. Okay, let's see what happens here. Oh, Frank. Tore his knee up, out 7 to 9 months. Oh, dude. It'll be the last time we see him in a Bastia uniform. Guzman, 1 to 2 days. Okay, I'm okay with that. As you can see, Macon has really improved, especially a lot of his technicals. Correa was absolutely stellar. I'm going to praise him. Do the press conference offline. We've got Nantes. They're in 6th place at the moment. You know what? Let's show the league table here. We're currently in 3rd. We're 3 points behind Monaco, but we got a game in hand. However, PSG is 10 points ahead of us. They got 2 games in hand on us. Flippin' real. We need a credible performance against Nantes, or they could climb up into a tie for 4th. So in 25 matches played, our 44 goals, our 4th highest. Our 22 goals allowed, our 4th best. 50 yellow cards, 3rd highest. Good grief. So it's probably going to be a fairly rotated side against Nantes. I'm more interested in moving up into the Euro Cup. We got the French Cup 11th round coming up. I don't know that I really want to play that game as a live comp because the team we're playing is in the National League. They are on the run of their lives in the French Cup. And to be fair, they haven't had any really strong opponents. I guess this is kind of the equivalent of an English team reaching the fourth round of the FA Cup and meeting someone from the Premier League. So, I mean, frankly, they're not a very good squad. You know, and as much as I love a good blowout victory, you know, showing one as a live com's just no bueno. So anyhow, we're going to play Nance offline, and we will come back for the home game at Bastia in just a bit. Marc Francois with the Twitter comment of the save so far, talking about Frank's injury. Well, that sucks. Yes, it does, Mark. Yes, it does. In the immortal words of Bart Simpson, that sucks and blows. Well, I was looking for a credible result against Nantes, and we got one. We drew 0-0. It wasn't the funnest game to watch by any stretch of the imagination. We were pretty even on the stats. They had 14-5. We had 10-4. We each had a woodwork hit. We each had clear-cut chances. They had more half chances. We were in a long shot competition. It was a really rotated side for me, so I'm really happy with the draw. I think the only full-time starters were Orlov, Hrustic, Sessegnon, and that's pretty much it. Everybody else is a backup. Malangu was my striker. He did absolutely nothing, so I brought on Fernandez, who did absolutely nothing. And it was just, we had our chances, we just cannot make the most of them. Today, though, we got probably our strongest 11 going up against Basel, but I'm going to check that, set the reserves, and we'll be back with the home match against Basel in just a bit. And we are playing our 4-1-2-3 today with Orlov in goal, Sessegnon, Xiangcheng, Hrustic, and Flores as the defensive back four, Vlasic as the defensive midfielder behind Milescu and Heraldes, Cray and Macon are the attacking midfielders, and Fernandez is up top as the striker. Fernandez has been running very hot and cold. Last season he had at least 15 goals for us, if I remember correctly. Possibly more. He broke 20 in all competitions, if you count all the competitions. So it's just when he's on, he's on. When he's not, he's not. There's no in between really. And lately he has not been on. So the more I think about it, especially this offseason with Pichon and Valet, who are both having really good loan performances, they will be on the senior squad next year as starters. I'm probably looking at like a 4-2-4 or a 4-1-3-2. But I've got the wingers, speaking of which, Macon driving forward, crosses it in, Correa off the post, and cut the angle a bit too sharp. But I've got really good wingers, so probably a 4-2-4 with the wingers up top. Pichot or Valet is the pressing forward, and then maybe someone new in up top, unless Fernandez just somehow manages to turn it on. The first half has been all us. That was the only highlight we had. 11 shots, 4 on target. Basel's had none and none. They've had a possession advantage, but it has not done anything for them. Well, first highlight of the second half. Kronig up to Riccardi. Over to Torres. Back to Panucci. Piccianoci. Good grief. Kronig to Riveros. To Torres. To Kronig. Who is being followed by the number 7 player, who I don't know who that is off the top of my head. Xiangcheng intercepts that long pass. Milescu up to Correa. Crosses. Takes the shot and he skies it over the crossbar. He tried doing too much on his own. Basel's pretty much phoned it in. Let me take a look at something here real quick. We got a couple of players I want to save. Especially this late in the match. I don't think Basel's going to come back and make up a bunch. We're going to get Correa off and bring on Ruiz. We're going to get Flores off and bring on Correa. We're going to get Milescu off and bring on Osmani. 10 minutes left. What a snoozer of a game. 17 shots we've had, 5 on target. Basel's had none and none. They've had a huge possession. They've been playing keep away all match. Sessegnon to Vlasic on the throw-in. Out to Heraldes. Who's the number 7? I should have known that. Theory. Almost loses it. Crosses it in through the box. What the heck happened there? That's the final whistle, though. They had one shot the entire game. And we beat them on aggregate 4-1 thanks to a very good away performance. The hometown crowd, though, has got to be upset by that match. We just did not do anything. I totally didn't pay attention to what my assistant coach suggested we do, and now Mattis Force is confused. So very good first leg sees us through the Euro Cup first knockout round. We received 500,000 euros for that. I'll do the press conference offline here. Of course, we've got Monaco in 3 days now, followed by Havre 3 days after that, followed by Troyes 3 days after that, followed by Vendée Fontenay 3 days after that, followed by Saint-Étienne 4 days after that. So it's what? 7, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 games in 16 days. Thank you, French Football Federation. And that's not even counting the first part of this month. Good grief. Keep waiting for the draw of the second knockout round to come up, and I don't know when that's going to be. We're in the Gambardella Cup quarterfinal. Well, we're playing in the quarterfinals there. Okay, here's the second. Why was it not showing? It's okay. It's probably a skin thing. Who we got? Arsenal, Juve, Leicester, Milan, PSV, Roma, Heerenveen, Tottenham. You know what? We'll just go through. Arsenal is playing Heerenveen. Bastia is playing Roma. Liverpool is playing Tottenham. Borussia Dortmund is playing Real Hispalis. Juve is playing Lazio. Was it me or did they switch? Milan is playing Leicester. PSV is playing Marseille, which means Sporting is playing Vigo. Playing Roma. Who's their highest goal scorer? Patrick Schick. Okay, not bad. Not too shabby at all. 7 goals in Serie A. Got Bernardo as well. Playing the same position. Okay, so let's take a look at the schedule here. Oh, look at all the matches rearranged. Ah. Let's take a look at the schedule now. Well, I guess we're coming back for Roma. That actually... okay, that actually works out really well. We'll come back for Roma, home and away. We'll skip the Saint-Étienne game. Vendée Fontenay will be offline for the French Cup 11th round. We're playing PSG back-to-back in the Kudu League final, and then a week later in our League One game. So we'll have to see what happens there. But, you know, a very good performance against Basel away, and then they essentially played keep away for the home part of that split. A credible draw against Nantes, considering it was a rotated side, and we had our chances, we just didn't really do anything with it. So I think we're currently, with everyone else playing and so on and so forth, we're in 4th place on 56 points, but we do have a game in hand above Monaco and Lyon. PSG still has 2 games in hand on us, and they're 15 points ahead of us. Unfreaking real. So, starting to have to plan ahead for next offseason too. If you liked what you seen and heard, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more content. Questions, criticisms, comments, leave those down below. I'll answer them as fast as I can. My name's FM19. I thank you for watching the Return Out Gloria with SC Bastia, episode 83.